Hello colleagues, this is Shayan on the mic.
For this chapter, I'm going to present a high-level journey into how people, process, and technology must work as one service to effectively enable business demand to be met within the context of applicable security and governance controls. My intention is to highlight how these disciplines collectively underpin the business's ability to meet its demand, and when thought of and focused on as one, can assist the business to understand what levers it must pull to steer their business towards their key objectives. Without further delay, let's begin. Phase 1. In the beginning, there was demand. And then came people to meet that demand. Oh wait, no. First came people who created demand, and then came people who worked to meet the demand. And then the input from business demand was met by an output by people to complete the exchange of value.
In this presentation,
I am framing people as the frontline roles who engage with the customer through workflows to take the opportunity through to a completed transaction.
In 2024, there is almost always a need for a layer of technology to complete transactions. We understand that technology is an invaluable tool to minimize busy work and allow our people to focus on engaging where their value is most needed, i.e., to achieve the business objective. In practice, what is technology doing? It is automating an otherwise manual process.
I use my computer to write my document to automate the manual process in working with physical copies during the creation and distribution phases. Within my context, I am framing technology as both the tech itself and the roles who perform the tasks needed to provide a curated service centered around confidentiality, integrity, and availability of digital assets and information. We all know about process, right?
Within my context, I am framing process as the roles who work to translate workflows into process steps that instruct how technology is specified and built. I propose that we frame process as that bridge between people and technology, or business and IT,
where the people who do the work are jointly responsible to define their workflows to meet business demand. These workflows are translated into use cases and process steps, which then inform requirements for technology to meet. A very simple license assignment example of what I mean by translating workflows into requirements. As a frontline staff who perform my role, I must attend team and customer meetings in person and remotely. I will need access to my company CRM to process transactions, email, and be able to reference training materials so that I can effectively perform. In this scenario, as well as the other parts of the joiner process, from technology's point of view, there are foundational things that this role needs, such as company-managed mobile phone, laptop and information security training, etc. But assigning a full enterprise user license pack when a frontline worker pack would do is a waste of resources, and this OPEX must be safe by design. Technology will then convert these into a specification centered around capabilities needed by business functions and the roles which ultimately perform the work needed to meet business demand. For every frontline staff role, assign a company-managed laptop, mobile phone with minutes and data, and a frontline worker license pack is an example of a specification derived from the previous use case. Ultimately, it is people who must verify or approve that this specification is correct. Once done, it becomes part of the standard configuration. Phase 2. Now we have our standard configuration and our system is ready to onboard people so that information can flow through. From the moment the configured system is made available to process information, technology needs to secure the information that people use, that's our information security, provide uptime to the underlying system, that's our IT operations, and manage change on those systems, and that's evergreen lifecycle management and our service request fulfillment. And provide support in case something that worked before no longer works. Of course, I'm talking about incident management support, right? People need support adopting technology. One approach that is commonly used is maintaining learning paths and mechanisms to socialize them, such as remote or recorded sessions, in-person lunch and learns, and self-service content distribution, because people must utilize tech to meet business demand. It's our central purpose, and request change and support due to changes in workflows, process, and technology. Speaking of capturing business requirements, One approach I like is the art of possible. This is the art of defining how technology can be utilized to meet business demand within the context of information security and organizational governance, derived from its risk appetite and the compliance framework it must adhere to. It's technology who is accountable for understanding, defining, and enforcing approved controls. Through this process, they become the subject matter experts in knowing what can and cannot be done. This knowledge, when combined with business analysis, becomes the source material to create content when inspiring adoption. Technology further supports value through standardization of best practices so that future investment can be focused on developments which add value instead of recreating good enough implementations or cosmetic preferences. Building further, we introduce the community. This is a big discipline, and I will say here, if supported correctly, it has the potential to help the business continually solve problems, highlight problems which did not previously have the correct attention, generate innovative ideas which may help transform the business and could even contribute towards lowering support requests. Phase 3. Now we have something that looks a little more like a curated service. But it is incomplete until we consider strategy and architecture, who continually review service performance, understanding how technology enables people to meet business demand, and then steers ongoing development in preparation to meet expected demand. This effort manifests as technology informing of changes in strategy and architecture, which must be assessed to inform process and technology changes that then must be adopted. Phase 4. As we know, everything in technology has a cost, and eliminating wasted cost in technology to be reassigned or removed where it can add most strategic value must always remain a business priority. All the cost technology generates directly enables the business with baseline capabilities, that's information security and productivity solutions and process automation, etc. So these are your centrally managed IT costs. Also, it enables business units who consume technology beyond the baseline to achieve its objectives. So this is curated application suites to fulfill a specific business plan, for example, like a custom application or additional features. To enable the business to fully understand their cost for technology, the process of assigning resource utilization to respective business units becomes part of demonstrating technology service value. Phase 5. Talking back of house, all these services create workloads which spark the need for process automation. This is the continuous effort to find process candidates for standardization and automation. In my humble opinion, effort here is what will give the IT function agility to cope with scale and maintain itself as lean. Although the path to process standardization directly helps maintain the service to people at scale, this effort is in the back of house, with your infrastructure, platform, or application teams. Phase 6. Now, I have intentionally left governance, risk, and compliance (GRC) to the end, another large discipline. GRC and information security apply across the whole business, and when combined, create the business-specific path on top of which technology builds its guardrails to help maintain the stronger security posture as the business changes. Phase 7. Lastly, I must call out this living document which gets built along with the service and represents a current view of how the service runs. We call this our operating model, an agreed collection of processes needed to be performed to deliver the service and the respective roles and functions which need to take responsibility, accountability, must be consulted, and whom must be informed to ensure they are performed consistently. Along with giving service, product, business owners a top-down view of the service, the processes inside the operating model operate as the foundation material to shorten the time needed for new team members to norm and be set up to perform. Conclusion. Efforts to introduce new or implementing changes to technology must be centered around the people that use it to meet business demand, and, as I have attempted to show in this chapter, it takes roles from people, process, and technology within the context of information security and governance, risk, and compliance to make the dream team work. Hence, my call to action here is, let's really get into this as a business. This has been Shayan on the mic.